On this episode of the Best of Bias podcast, you got your boy Lydell Dinero. I'm back. We're back. I know it's been a little bit. Last week we missed, the week before we didn't have a video. A lot of shit going on. Excuse my language, guys, but we back. Don't worry, don't worry. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Today is Friday. A lot of stuff going on. Got some topics here. Talk to y'all for a brief little minute. Can I do that for y'all on a Friday? You know what I'm saying? It's your boy, man. Again, I'm sorry. New listeners, if it's your first time listening to us, you already know what's going on. I mean, you don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna let you know. It's Best of Bias. We bring everything to the table. I bring our biases to the table, and we just spread a bunch of bias. You know what I'm saying? We ain't always right. We just give our opinion, and if you have opinion about anything, whatever it is, we bring it to the table. It can be sports, history, cooking. We talk comics, superheroes. We get into it. Sports, of course. We get into everything. You know what I'm saying? And nothing is missed on the table. We bring it all to the table. And once you hear, you part of the family, the Best of Bias family. Family members, Best of Bias members that's been here for a while. You already know it's good. Again, I apologize for last week and not having an episode, and the week before not having a video. But you know what I'm saying? We had some travel issues and some stuff going on, but we back. We got everything in line. Don't worry. Today we got a bunch of topics, a couple of sports sporadic topics here. We got a bunch of sports about to start up again. We got football, of course, starting fantasy football. Basketball starts in October, and it's dropping a lot of announcements and wanting us to know a lot of stuff that's coming for the upcoming season, kind of teasing that as well. Some UFC fights that I didn't get to talk about, a little bit of baseball stuff. We got some music dropping this weekend, Friday. Once you're listening to this, it'll already be out, so hopefully you're already rocking with it. Some pop culture news. I'm going to plug a tournament that we're going to be doing, our anime tournament I was talking about with you in AKA last week. We got the competitors for the anime tournament. We decided to go with main characters from each anime, 16 shows. We took the main character and we're going to put them up against each other and see which one comes out on top. We were talking, we kind of felt like we already kind of feel like one is kind of predominant when it comes to the main character, pretty already dominant when it comes to the character in the show. But I think the format we got it in and the seeds we got it set up, I think will be some good arguments. And with me, Deshaun, and AKA our different mindsets might put some animes ahead that you didn't really think would have beat some anime. So it could be cool. So that's going to happen. And then we got some Cinema Corner, a lot of Cinema Corner this week. I've been watching a lot of stuff, had some time away. So I've been watching Netflix, so I've been watching Max, I've been watching Prime. Everybody's dropping stuff right now, getting all their content out now because of this strike, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be on a big pause. So they're trying to hook us right now with some shows so that can kind of hold us over until that whole situation gets situated when we don't know how long that'll be. But we got some show reviews. I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ahsoka just started. Twisted Metal. The Florida Gator Swamp Kings documentary dropped. So there's a bunch of stuff to talk about on this episode of the Best of Bias podcast. Today is August the 25th or 25th? Yes, August the 25th. And I hope it's a wonderful day for y'all. It's a beautiful podcast about to come straight to y'all ears. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for pressing play. You could have been anywhere else in podcast land, but I'm glad you pressed this one right here. Video. We're back with the video, recent video. I just dropped our last one from a couple weeks ago when we had Damo on. We dropped that video, but still no podcast from last week. So I know you guys are happy to see us right here. Hey, and don't forget about the merch back there. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Let's get into it. No further ado. Where that theme song at? It's your boy. Yeah. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
It feels so good to be back. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the hostess with the mostest. It's Lydell Dinero in the building. It's just me today. Sorry about that rattling on the mic. This wire is kind of close to the mic. Let me get that out of there. Let me back up from it a little bit. But yeah, it's your boy. We back. It's a beautiful Friday. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for letting me open up my eyes today. Grateful for everything. You know what I'm saying? We here. And we gonna have a beautiful podcast, like I said at the beginning of this thing. How you guys doing today? Hope your mental health is good. Hope everybody's doing well. Summer is almost over. Transitioning into the fall. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys are ready for it to cool down a little bit. I am. Shouts out to Hawaii because I know they're dealing with those fires and the aftermath of that going on. It's just been so hot this summer. I don't know, man. It's like the hottest summer in the world. There's a whole bunch of record temperatures set this summer. It was just like any other, like no other summer I remember. You know what I mean? It's like I remember summer being a relaxing time where, yeah, I mean, when I was in college, you're out of school, you're kind of chilling. It was hot, but I didn't realize how hot it got. It's just spreading around the country too. It's like places that don't really experience that much heat. It's getting it's getting that heat right now. And it's like, damn, 115s in areas where it's already traditionally hot, like Arizona, Las Vegas, and shit like that. That's boiling. It's just kind of crazy. Hope everybody's staying out of the heat. I always say stay hydrated. Hope everybody's staying hydrated. But full list of stuff to go through today. I won't hold you guys too long. I know in the videos on YouTube, they'll always be like an hour and change. And I always kind of try to make them concise. But it's like these topics, I just expound so much upon them. And it's like, I have so much to tell y'all. I'll be so excited, especially when I miss weeks. It's just like, how could I put such a little episode and give y'all such little to chew on when I like to give y'all hope? But you feel me? You feel me? But anyway, let's get right into it. You know what I'm saying? I like to start with the sports, knock the sports out the way. We got a couple of things. Let's start with the NFL. Preseason week 3 starts this week. We're getting really close to the NFL season starting. This is the time where a lot of the starters get out there and kind of get their legs wet. Dip their toes in the pool, if you will. They've been watching the first couple of games, not really many starters playing, trying to preserve themselves for the regular season. You can't just not play the whole regular season or preseason because once you get in the regular game, your body's not going to be ready for the contact. You know how that goes. So this week 3, ever since they like lowered the preseason games from 4 to 3, preseason game 3 is when the starters really get out there and play. I'm really excited personally to see what all the teams have in store, man, because there's a lot of implications. We're not just betting. We have fantasy football. I have my personal team and my personal hopes and aspirations for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You guys already know how I rock with that. Um, but I'm ready. I mean, basketball's over. We're transitioning from my Nuggets winning the championship. It's always wonderful to win the championship, but once it's all over and you raise that trophy and you have that parade, everybody kind of forgets about it and you transition over into the next sport. And I think that's what we're doing now. Baseball's still going and my Braves are still rocking. We're the favorites to go to the World Series, you know what I'm saying? But we're not there quite yet. But once we get to the playoffs, like I usually say, I think it'll become more exciting. Don't get me wrong. I've been following. It's just that it's been a long season. We've been in good standings for the most of the season. Ever since we passed up Tampa Bay, the Braves have just been holding the NL, lead for a while. Top seed, about 81 wins right now. We're balling out, but you know what I'm saying? Football's coming back and we're excited. October gets here. We have basketball, football, baseball, hockey, soccer, everything going at the same time. So it's getting to an exciting time of the year, one of my favorite times of the year, especially for fantasy. Best of Bias Invitation in 2022. You guys already know it's good. Draft next weekend, Labor Day weekend on the 2nd. I'm trying to get this streamed live on Instagram too. So everybody that's not really participating can see how we get down. See how your boy drafts, see me draft a league winning team, $100 buy-in this year. You know what I'm saying? Again, some people out there probably play for a lot more or have big old money bags out there. But my league, we're progressively getting up there. You know what I mean? We started off like 25. Last year was 50. This year is 100. You know what I'm saying? With a little bit of bonuses. And we got all the guys coming for an actual live draft party where we can present last place trophies, talk about winners, talk about rules, and get everything situated. We got it going this year. It's really exciting. Next week it's happening. The Best of Bias Fantasy Football League 2022 Invitational. Everybody's invited. We'll be on, again, probably on the Best of Bias Instagram account. If you guys follow me on there, you'll probably see the draft going down on Instagram Live. So join in, join the fun. I'll probably have somebody designated to the camera, kind of going over some questions. If you guys have questions, we can answer those while it's going. It's gonna be a good time. I'm really excited to see what's going down, man. A lot of news has been happening in the NFL right now. We finally getting to see some running back signing. We talked about Saquon Barkley signing his tender, $11 million. He was holding out for a while. Josh Jacobs is coming back. Dalvin Cook actually signed with the Jets. Jets are already looking like one of the favorites this year, looking pretty stacked. I mean, another one of those teams that acquired a veteran quarterback, had a talented squad already. And once they did get that quarterback, he's supposed to take him over the hill and show him, this what do they call it? shiny side, the bright side of the hip. I don't know. I'm mixing up a whole bunch of things, whatever. But Aaron Rodgers is supposed to show the Jets how to win. Him being a champion, like a 4-time MVP or some bullshit like that. And yeah, they're looking good, man. It's with the additions they have, especially with Dalvin Cook, Brees Hall's coming back from ACL injury. That backfield with him, and you have Michael Carter back there as well. They have a stable full of running backs that are kind of doing their thing. Ezekiel Elliott finally getting signed. He's going to the Patriots. I feel like he can do, be the Zeke he wants to be over there at the Patriots. I know they have Ramondre Stevenson, but Zeke is already a proven back, rushing titles, you know what I'm saying, scores, touchdown, reputations, especially in fantasy, of being a good running back. So I know he's going to probably take a bunch of goal line touchdowns away from Ramondre Stevenson, probably affecting his draft stack, his stock. He's probably going in the third round. Probably still going in the third round now, but Zeke is probably going to make him drop a little bit in some leagues, but that's cool. I'm just excited for football, man. The Buccaneers just announced that Baker Mayfield is going to be the quarterback one, QB1. The more I'm seeing Baker, man, the more and more I'm kind of falling into it and trying to become a believer. I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield can go out there and win us a whole bunch of games and take us to the playoffs, win a championship, but I think it could be serviceable, man. I've seen some bad quarterbacks come through the Buccaneers camp. He was a number one pick essentially, and he does have talent. He wouldn't have got drafted number one if he didn't have talent. You know what I'm saying? We're not just getting a quarterback that has zero talent at all. We just have to calm down in the turnovers. David Canales, the OC that came over from the Seattle Seahawks last year, was able to, help Geno Smith get right and make some good decisions in his offense. So hopefully Baker Mayfield, even though this is like his fourth, fifth coach in how many ever years he's been in the league, if he can be a good listener and adapt to what Canales is saying and get into the offense and, make something happen, it could be a good thing for, it could be a good thing for Tampa and Baker Mayfield sometime to like revitalize his career. He's still like 26 to 28 years old, maybe 28, maybe 28. I think something like that. So he still has time to get right and just, have a good couple of years. And I think he has the attitude and he definitely has the moxie, but I think he has the requisite skills to make something happen. Again, last year, Tom Brady couldn't really move at all, extend plays at all. So hopefully with Baker Mayfield, being able to move, we saw him doing a lot of rollouts in preseason. We didn't want to show too much, but we saw that he was able to make plays on the move, and that's what Tom Brady wasn't able to do. Our line was pretty bad last year, but when the linemen couldn't couldn't get any extra time, extend any plays because Tom couldn't move, the line had to be supreme and perfect. You know what I'm saying? So the line could just be, adequate this year. Let Baker move around a little bit, have the weapons we have, make plays. Rachaad White start getting off, being the sole number one back. I think we can be cool. I don't think we're going to be as bad as people think, but I don't really want to be mediocre and not make the playoffs because I don't want to, if Baker is bad, play our way out of getting a quarterback. So I don't know. Season's going to be interesting. I'll be watching. We're going to be following. I'll talk a lot about it, probably, especially with fantasy going on. But just wanted to talk a little bit about NFL since we're getting closer and closer, and it's like 2 weeks left till real football. September 10th, I think everybody plays, and it's opening day. So get your shit together, everybody. Get your gear, get your fan stuff, and I'll see you on next Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Not next Sunday, I guess. There's a lot of college football starting next Sunday, but September 2nd, we drafting. September 10th, we playing football. So let's get to it. Anyways, NBA, couple of quick notes here. We have opening day schedule. You know what I'm saying? I had to talk a little bit mess about this because it's Lakers versus Nuggets. We have Suns versus Warriors. Two great opening games, and I thank the NBA for doing it. Of course, the Nuggets had to play. And I'm sorry, Lakers, that you guys had to play us at home, watch us, lift our banner and get our rings. We swept y'all last year. There is a little beef between our coach and your coach. So we give the people what they want. LeBron's probably going to play this game like it's his championship because he does feel disrespect, but he got swept last year. And I respect it, but I think we're going to come out to play. I think the Nuggets have a good chance of waxing them again. Our additions that we made, I think the team and the continuation that we have with our team is bonded right now. I think we're going to keep on, we're going to be right back like a well-oiled machine. The Lakers added a whole bunch of pieces. They do have a lot. Their foundation is the same, and they got LeBron and AD, but I think, the Nuggets are going to be ready to show out in front of their home crowd as they raise their banner and get those rings. Jokic is primed to have another MVP season, so I'm ready to see that. And then Warriors and Suns, of course, that's going to be an all-time game too, especially with all the acquisitions the Suns had. Chris Paul being on the Warriors, of course, that's going to add a lot of drama. But Bradley Beal, who else did they pick up? Eric Gordon. Um, yeah, they still got Ayton. We all going to see what the Suns are going to be. Everybody expects the Suns to be, that team now that they acquired Bradley Beal and all the pieces they did. They're not really a complete team. Don't really have a bench, but we're going to see what they are. So it makes for a great opening day. And the Christmas Day slate is going to be crazy as well. Let me see here. I have the Christmas Day slate as well. It's like they're setting the Nuggets up. We have 22 to 30, well, I think it's 22 national televised games this year, which is the fourth most in the league, which I respect, which is really good. I mean, you guys heard my gripes over the years about us not being on TV enough, but we are definitely in the spotlight now. Um, Dang, I did delete it. Damn. Let me see if it's on the Insta. Christmas Day. Yeah, here we go. So we got the Nuggets Warriors. We got Nuggets Warriors on Christmas. Who else we got? You got the Lakers in Boston on Christmas. You got Miami and Philadelphia on Christmas. And you have Dallas and Phoenix on Christmas. And football wise, you have Raiders and Chiefs on Christmas, Giants and Eagles on Christmas, and you have 49ers and Ravens. So Christmas Day is going to be packed this year, like I said. In the fall, everything comes together and you get sports equinox. We playing everything at the same time. There's unlimited stuff to watch, and it's just a sports fans. I don't want to say a wet dream because that's a little too intimate. You feel me? But you know what I mean. It's the sports. I'm gonna use buffet again because anything you want. You look that way. You got the steak over there. You got the cinnamon rolls over there. You got the gravy and potatoes over there. You got the chicken wings over there. You got whatever you want. It's right there for you. It's the buffet of sports in October, and the sports equinox is real. I'll talk to you guys more about it when we get there. But Nuggets all over the slate for the NBA, man, and I'm so proud of them. Last year I talked this up. You saw everything come to fruition. It's crazy. It's crazy. From the beginning of the basketball season when I started talking about us to the middle to where we started taking over the number one seed to after All-Star break, we were the number one seed to the playoffs. And then everybody was talking mess about how they didn't believe in us and how they didn't think we had a chance. And then we walked through the playoffs, walked everybody down each round. Oh my God, bro, y'all was here. Next season's gonna be so much fun to do the same thing. I'm not saying it's gonna be all the same result, but it's gonna be so fun talking my mess, having the validation of us getting our first championship ever. So it's gonna be great. While we were talking about basketball, I can talk a little bit about Team USA. Team USA, man, it's doing better than I expected. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were gonna go out there and get slobber knocked by all the other teams around the country due to the players that we sent out there this year. It wasn't really the team that we usually send, like the all superstars of the leagues, like the LeBrons, the Carmelos, Dwayne Wades, was Shaq ever on the Olympic teams? I don't know. But you know what I mean? The superstar of all the superstars in the league that go out there that we knew it would never lose. But we sending this year, where we're sending to the FIBA World Cup, we're sending like Jalen Brunson, we have I know Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Brandon Ingram, Jaren Jackson. I think I said Jalen Brunson already. Who else is out there playing? We got Austin Reeves. Let's see. Bobby Portis. A bunch of young guys. Paolo Banchero. A bunch of young guys, you know what I'm saying? The guys that are on the brink of becoming superstars or the next generation of superstars. I think that's what I would call this team. You know what I mean? It's not the superstars that we're usually sitting out there to dominate. It's the people that are on the verge of hitting that who can use this experience to actually help build a bond with all the other people that are going to take that step into superstardom. And I don't know, just kind of force that bond. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's just all about playing for your country, bonding with the future of the league, and just showing that camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? And these players, again, aren't the best players in the league. There's a bunch of players that sat out that should be playing to represent the United States, like these other countries are. They're going out there and sending the best of their country. You know what I mean? The Canada teams be stacked. The Spain teams be stacked. Like all the NBA players that are from that country representing, they're going to go play. You know what I mean? So you would expect US to send the best people. But the fact that Anthony Edwards is going out there, putting on a show, scoring 34 points, is being the Kobe of this year's team. It's just kind of crazy to see. Steve Kerr is leading them, so they have great coaching. But it's impressive to see. And this is all the showcase games. The actual tournament doesn't start until this Saturday. The USA plays New Zealand at 5:40 in the morning. So if you're up, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to catch USA playing, wake up early, set your alarm, and you can see them play. You know what I mean? But yeah, you don't want to miss it. You know what I'm saying? Support our boys. At first, I was skeptical, but I think they have a good chance, and I think they'll do their thing this year. Moving on, Sean O'Malley against Aljamain Sterling. This was a couple of weeks ago. I didn't really talk about it, but it's interesting to me just seeing the ascension of Sean O'Malley. I just remember him when he first came out and Snoop Dogg was kind of commentating one of his fights and he knocked somebody out. And he just, from then on, I knew just kind of started to notice him. But, you know, he's been fighting more and more, getting a name for himself, kind of like, you know, doing little things to make a name for himself, like every fighter does to promote himself. His antics, coloring his hair a whole bunch of different colors, wearing the chains, talking all the mess. But I didn't know how raw he actually was becoming to be. Aljamain Sterling was I don't know what weight it was. Could have been bantamweight. I don't know exactly what division it was, but Aljamain Sterling was like what 9-time champion of that division. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry, I could be wrong about that, but I think he had like a long win streak of winning belt contentions. But Sean O'Malley went in there cocky. He felt like he can catch him. There was an interview he had before the fight that he said that if he got into any wrestling, he'll probably lose because he was dealing with the injury that he had while he was fighting in camp, but he didn't want nobody to know. And it was a video that didn't come out until after the fight when he won. That he was like, because Aljamain Sterling is supposedly a good wrestler, so he was like, if he grabs me or gets me to the ground and tries to wrestle me, it's over for me because I have this injury. But this was before the fight in an unseen video. So in the fight, you know, they start the fight and, you know, Shane catches him. It was actually pretty interesting. I keep saying Shane, it's Sean. He catches him hella interesting because Aljamain kind of trying to, you know, hit him with a right, like hit him with a couple jabs and with a hard right. Aljamain kind of just oversells it. Sean O'Malley has time to block both punches, cock his punch back, and hit him with this fierce counter right and just knock him down. Once he knocked him down, he started ground and pounding on him. It was a controversial stoppage by the referee because Aljamain kind of rolled over to his stomach and started defending himself a little bit. But one of the punches that Sean hit Aljamain with while he's on the ground doing the ground and pound was pretty vicious. The referee didn't want to get too far away and let Aljamain probably get really hurt. But Sean was able to win early in the first round. So he was able to solidify himself as one of the top fighters, man. The ascension is here. It's been a lot of years. I didn't know that. It was like, I think it's been like 6, 7 years since he's been fighting. Though we've been seeing him fight over the years, and now he's finally champion and talking his shit and ready to be the champion and hold that belt for a while and be one of the faces of the UFC. And I respect it, man, because I've really been seeing him on a lot of cards that I would watch for fights with Max Holloway or you know, Izzy Adesanya, and he'd be on the card too, and he'd just be fucking people up winning. One fight, I actually seen him like he was fighting somebody, but he broke his ankle during the fight, and he wasn't able to finish it on some weird shit. And he tried to keep fighting, but he ended up losing because of it. I think that was him. But yeah, I've seen the ascension, and I'm proud of him, man. Even though Aljamain, I'm always, you know, rooting for champions to stay champions, especially if they're super raw. But, you know, when the competitor deserves it and he talks his shit and backs it up, you know, I can only respect it. So shout out to Sean O'Malley. And again, this story here, Otani, man. Otani's been on a roll. I'm transitioning to baseball. Sorry, that wasn't the smoothest transition from me, but I'm moving on to baseball here. Shohei Otani has been on a roll this season. Man, people are calling him the best baseball player ever. His pitching, his batting, he's at like 40 something home runs right now, leading the league in home runs, while shutting shit down and pitching. You know, hitting home runs and throwing 10 Ks in the same game. He's just doing amazing shit. And this year, he was in line to, you know, it was a bidding war for where Otani was going to go and how much money he was going to get and who's going to be blessed with his services, you know what I mean? But he had a UCL injury. I think that's an injury with the elbow, which is going to cause him not to be able to pitch for the rest of the season. Which is going to cost not only the Angels a lot, but him as well when it comes to his contract. Because, you know, people are going to be paying him for his batting and his pitching more so. And that pitching, which is what, you know, calls for more money, you know. So if he's going to be not pitching anymore this season and have to get like a Tommy John surgery or anything like that, it's going to cost him a lot of money. The that people are willing to offer him because they don't know how if you're going to be able to get back to what you were before you got the surgery, because sometimes those surgeries are pretty detrimental to pitcher's career. So it's sad to see, man. I would have wished to see him get his contract before it happened. He's saying he's still going to be batting, so you don't have to worry about that. Maybe we'll still be able to smash home runs, but as of now, his pitching is going to be put on hold, which again sucks for the league, sucks for the Angels, because we're seeing historic things, man, and we're putting him up there with Babe Ruth, putting Shohei Ohtani, this man from Japan, up there with the best baseball player the MLB has ever seen, and it was such a great story. But I still wish the best for Shohei, and hopefully, if he has the surgery, if he needs surgery, it heals up really well and he gets back to where he was, because and he still gets his money because the man deserves it. He's been playing really well. There's no allegations of any kind of steroids or anything like that I'm hearing of, HGH that I'm hearing of. So man, just let this man be great. Greatness deserves to be, paid for. He probably brought so many eyes to baseball, from different countries and different cultures, and just from being as great as he is. So hope they do right by him and still give him the money that he deserves. And we still praise him like we did when he was out there throwing shutout games and hitting home runs as well. So prayers out to him and hope he gets well soon. Last little sports topic here. Shannon Sharpe made an announcement. I think it was yesterday. Wednesday he made an announcement, then Thursday he made another announcement, trying to double up on us to give us the two boom boom, because we haven't seen him in a while. We're wondering what happened to Unc Shay Shay. He's been gone. You know what I'm saying? Ever since he left Undisputed, we were wondering what the next step would be for him. Is he going to go to First Take? Is he going to get his own show? Who's going to pay him? The buyout was real from FS1 for a reason. So what's the next venture going to be? You know what I'm saying? Skip has been announcing all the people that are going to be on his show starting August 28th. You have Richard Sherman, Rachel Nichols, Keyshawn Johnson, Michael Irving, all joining Undisputed. So it's like, what is Uncle Shay Shay about to do? So Wednesday, he announced that the Club Shay Shay, the podcast, is moving over to Volume with Colin Cowherd, which pretty much, you know what I'm saying, in my eyes, is pretty much one of the other big partners in FS1 Fox. Him and Skip Bayless pretty much run FS1, Fox Sports 1. So with his podcast and his show still being under Volume, which is pretty much Colin's production company, I think he still has his toes dipped in the Fox pool. But he also made an announcement Thursday that he will be on Monday and Tuesday on First Take with Stephen A. on ESPN. So he's getting that bag as well. They had to fire a whole bunch of people, it seemed like, on ESPN to get Shannon Sharpe to be on First Take. And it looks like Monday and Tuesday he's going to be on there talking with Stephen A. And they're still going to have the rotating cast of like Dan Orlovsky, Ryan Clark, Swagoo, everybody else is still going to be on the show. He's just going to be sitting at the table as well the whole day on Monday and Tuesday. So go ahead, Unc Shay Shay. Look like he's dipping his toes in both Fox and ESPN, man. Very, very, very interesting, because the stuff is going to get shaky anyways. I mean, I feel like people shouldn't really be exclusive, because, there's a lot of ventures out there. People want to hear what he has to say. And it's always seemed kind of like really competitive with FS1 and ESPN. I think they should just kind of, I don't know if they can join forces. I don't know if they have power like that. Even though I feel like Disney owns Fox anyways, right? And they own ESPN as well. I don't know if that's a conflict of interest or not, but maybe FS1 is independent. Maybe that's independent, but I don't know. Congratulations, Unc Shay Shay. Undisputed has been the same. Hasn't even been on since he left after the finals. And First Take hasn't really been the same since Max left. All these rotating guests are cool. Chris Mad Dog Russo is a bit much. They tried to, they kicked Primetime off for the incident that he got proven innocent for. Keyshawn Johnson, they fired him from ESPN. I don't know why they did that either, but I guess they had to give all the money to Uncle Shay Shay. He required a whole bunch of money for his services. So now we're going to get very, very, very interesting Monday and Tuesday on First Take after the NFL. And, once NBA and stuff starts too, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what they say and how much power they actually have to say what they want to say on ESPN. Because, Uncle Shay Shay was kind of wild over there on FS1. So we'll see if it's actually the same on, over there in ESPN for him, because he liked to talk about alcohol, talk about smoking and stuff. He ain't going to be able to do that on ESPN. But who knows, man? ESPN might be getting acquired as well, man, because I'm hearing stories about Apple. You know what I'm saying? This kind of drifts us into pop culture as well. But first of all, congratulations on Shay Shay. And I will be watching on the 28th for the return of Undisputed on FS1 with all those guests. Again, it's Richard Sherman, Rachel Nichols, and the Playmaker, and Keyshawn Johnson, and then September 4th, I forgot to say when it started for First Take and Uncle Shay Shay. So Uncle's gonna be on there starting September 4th on Mondays and Tuesdays. Him, Stephen A, and everybody over there. So sports TV, the morning shows are gonna get back in action, man, because the Carton show wasn't hitting. You know what I'm saying? After Colin, I usually watch or Undisputed until Colin. So I usually don't watch nothing until 9 o'clock now. And Colin be talking bullshit sometimes now too. But I fuck with Colin because he's giving Shay Shay a chance, and he actually connects with a lot of good people. Colin is a really good guy outside his personality on FS1. Believe it or not, it just seems like he's a really good dude, and he gives a lot of people opportunities. And he seems like a cool guy. I'm not saying he just seems like an asshole completely on FS1, but it just seems like he gets a kind of a bad reputation. And over the last couple of years, he's been kind of lightening up. Sometimes his opinions are kind of out there, but you know what I'm saying? I still mess with Colin as well. But just welcome everybody to come back. Let's get these mornings back going. I know everybody likes to take breaks after the NBA is over and just, wait until football starts to come back and get everything going again. But it's been a little lull. We got to get back to it. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get back to the bag because the people have been waiting. The people have been waiting to hear Uncle Shay Shay and his opinions. And the finals ended really fast. So he was supposed to wait until after the finals was over to actually go and make that transition, but since the Nuggets won in 5, it wasn't really that long before that happened. But yeah. Let me get into this dual cameras, man. Let me get a roo. Just for my dogs. You see what I did there? Dual cameras again. This Friday, right now, man. We all been waiting, and I hope he doesn't pull the whoopsie daisy on me because I would look stupid in this video right here, but for all my dogs, Drake dropping this Friday. Are y'all excited? Are y'all listening to it already? I know you probably are. Man, we've been waiting after our last album, Sorry Nevermind or Honestly Nevermind. I wasn't the biggest fan. People said they liked it. They listened to it overseas on vacation and stuff like that, but it wasn't for me. What's the last one? Her Loss. I liked Her Loss. I liked it a lot. I liked the direction of it. I liked what they were doing. But for all my dogs, I'm telling you, I'm trying to get the you feel me? He needs to come out here on his rapping shit. He needs to come out here and show everybody what's going on. The poppy stuff is cool. The singing stuff for the ladies is cool, but we need the rapidy rap. It's just for my dogs. He's saying my dogs said they want the old Drake back. They want me to rapidy rap. Let's get this rapidy rap. You know what I'm saying? Let me get like 18 and 19 songs. Not many features. You know what I'm saying? Features are cool, but sometimes features can be oversaturated. Drake has to mold his verses to whoever he's on the song with. You know what I'm saying? It's not always the best in my opinion. So I kind of want a project that kind of tells us a story. Kind of I don't want to say if you're reading this it's too late because that was kind of mixtapey. What am I looking for, man? I'm looking for something classic, man. I'm hearing that there's a feature on here that the world wasn't ready for. Zach Lowe tried to drop something like that, telling us that there's going to be a feature on here that we were not ready for, we weren't expecting. People are theorizing it's going to be Frank Ocean. Drake posted something on his Instagram showing that it was Frank Ocean. And again, after I post this, the secret's probably already out. You guys are probably already going to know what's going on. You feel me? But I'm excited. You saw Adonis did the artwork. Some people are hating on it, saying that Adonis didn't do it. But if you look at the picture, it look like a little kid did it. Stop hating, bruh. Why are y'all hating? But yeah, I'm excited to hear it, man. What are you guys expecting to hear on? Who are you guys expecting to hear on it? Do you think people are going to listen more than 2 weeks is what I want to know, because a lot of these albums don't have the longevity. We talked about this already. 2 weeks and then it's done for. Me personally, when you go back to Drake albums and you kind of listen to what's going on already in his past albums, like all these songs are pretty good. They're classic. So when you come to this new stuff and you're like, oh, new Drake, he has some slaps too. It's just, if you just look back and look at Drake's career, he's been given nonstop slaps. He has some songs that you probably don't like in his catalog, but he's one of the people that are giving you consistency. He gives you the features, he gives you the songs. Like if you go back and listen to the classic slaps and you listen to the songs that, well, I graduated in '09. Let me age myself real quick. So hearing some of the songs from back when I was in high school, I was like, oh shit, he really evolved into this right now. And he still has all the old slaps back in the day with that style that just kind of was like ahead of its time at that time. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to get jealous of all these people at these concerts because these concerts are really like legacy concerts for him. All the slaps are classic that I know from beginning to end, man. I remember when he first came out. So everything from when he first dropped to now, the career is just, I mean, it's probably, besides Lil Wayne, he has to be one of the artists that, yeah, his career, probably every song I've probably even heard, known, or just at a concert to be so vibey. It would be the vibiest at a concert because you would sit there, every song that came on, everybody would know every word. Everybody, had some experience with that song. It comes out and it's just, I don't know. I just feel like it'd be one of those concerts that you wouldn't have to worry about nobody fighting. You don't have to worry about nothing going wrong. It's his experience, and he has a show, brings out somebody famous from the city he's at each show. He goes out there and does his thing and makes sure everybody has a good time. People throw stuff on stage. He doesn't get upset and walk off stage. He makes sure that he gives people their money's worth because they know they're coming out here to see Drake, and he puts his all in it. And that's kind of crazy. But for the album, man, I'm really excited to see it. I don't know if music has really been up to par this year. The Gunna album has been pretty good. Again, the last Drake album, Drake and 21 Savage, Her Loss, is really good. Um, it's just, man, we just need more music. I mean, it's not even about whose album should be listened to over everybody else's. We just need a good collection of music to listen to so we don't get bored and stuck listening to the same thing and everything is so dry. Let us have a variety. So we're rushing to get to this. We're rushing to get to that. Burna Boy is supposed to drop this week, I think. So if Burna Boy drops, we have the Caribbean, the African Afro beats, and then we have Drake, whatever he's doing and showing on this album. It's just a good mix of music. Somebody else should drop. Let's not everybody be scared to drop on the same day as these big artists because yeah, we need the variety, man. That's what the game needs right now. Everybody sounds the same. Everybody does the same thing. Everybody moves the same. Let's get some variety. Let's get everybody out there that has anything of any value. Just give it to the world and let them choose who they're going to choose to listen to. Let's not just put it out one at a time. So we're forced to listen to one thing at a certain time. Because I feel like when that happens and your album is bad, it gets noticed more. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. But once I'd rather go and grab a couple of albums and they come out at the same time and I'm listening to both and I'll see who's better. And I think that's what hip hop used to be. It's like who's better, whose album was better, whose piece of work is better. Now it's like I'm gonna be scared to drop at the same time because I know this person has a lot of fans and he's gonna sell more and it's all about numbers. I know some numbers get you money, but let's get back to music to where it's like the quality of the music and the reputation of the music they put out matters. You know what I'm saying? Let me not get into that rant right now, but for all my dogs coming out soon, dual cameras with all that, go get dual. Don't go get it for all my dogs, man. It's probably gonna be album of the year. Quote me on that. I know people aren't Drake. Some people aren't Drake fans out there. They kind of say this and say that, but go listen to it. I guarantee you, it's gonna be something that's gonna be in your radio this summer. anyways, anyways, let's get back to it. Talked about Apple trying to acquire ESPN already in the sports topics, man. I think that would be cool, man. Apple, they want to get their hands in the live sports game, and it makes sense for them. They have the money to do it. They have the sustainability behind all their Apple products and the brand equity to do whatever they want and still make money and just throw a little bit of money to the side for live sports, which is pretty much what everybody watches on live TV anyway. So if they get their hands in that market, or even just simply buy off some of these things that Disney has, you know what I'm saying? Which I think is what's happening. They're going to buy off little things here and there because Disney recently acquired a whole bunch of stuff and they're trying to make properties for all that stuff. And I think they're biting off more than they can chew. And I think Apple has a whole bunch of money. And once, some of this streaming stuff and everybody else kind of falls back in the game, I think um, I think Apple is still trying to have some IP out there to be able to do what they want and still be frugal and still have an iPhone every 2 iPhones every year and still make a whole bunch of money. I think this is the way they can do it. And I think it may be a big shift and maybe like big changes if they do so. but I think Apple could potentially acquire ESPN and it just becomes something completely different. I mean, shoot, I think how they have everything set up at Apple, they plan really well. They make stuff look nice. I've been using Apple TV, Apple Plus, the last couple months, and it's incredible. I think the layout and how they have everything going, just the simple modifications that they have compared to a lot of other streaming services, I think is kind of advanced. And I think you throw sports on there. I'm seeing sports on Prime a lot now. So if Apple gets the rights to that, I feel like it'd be really simple to promote like live sports through Apple devices, incentivize people to buy Apple devices. And, you know what I'm saying, it just be a really easy transition because everybody knows Apple. And I think Apple has a reputation and the money to pull something like that off. You know what I mean? Anime tournament. Um, yeah. I was plugging this last week. We had AKA on, or last time I had AKA on. We wanted to do an anime tournament. I got the idea. I listen to a lot of podcasts. You know me, if you know me, I listen to my podcast and I do my research and I get a lot of information from these, podcasts. And I love my Best of Bias family, so I'm bringing you guys ideas and new contents at all times. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm supplying you guys with a lot of stuff to come back and listen to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get a tournament going. Um, uh, it's a podcast I listen to called the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where they talk mostly about comic book, superhero, movie news, stuff like that. Recently, they did a tournament with like action movies, 21st century action movies, early 80s action movies, and stuff like that. And just had a March Madness style tournament and just kind of had one judge and three people on kind of just go through all these movies and just kind of one by one have them up against each other and vote on what movie they think is going to win in the matchup against them and just move it on. Last movie, uh, at the end is the one that wins the tournament. So with that style and copying a little bit off of what they're doing, shouts out y'all. Thank y'all for supplying the content. Um, we're actually going to do a tournament 1 through 16 with a whole bunch of animes. We're taking their main stars from the anime and actually putting them up against each other. We're not necessarily doing the shows against each other. We're doing the main character and their story arcs against each other and seeing what character would come out on top. That's why, again, I said it'd be kind of controversial because once you hear the actual animes that we're using, you'd be like, oh, this character is going to win off top. But you never know because, again, there's different minds out here that have different opinions and you never know what's going to pop off. So, all right. So, the one seed, I'm just going to give you guys what seeds or what characters we have in the show. I'm not going to give you the seeds or the matchups yet because we're going to talk about all that. I don't want you guys to kind of like, get a clue of what's going to happen or who's going to win before we even turn it up. But let me just give you guys the characters in the shows. So Dragon Ball Z Goku, One Piece Luffy, Yu Yu Hakusho, we have Yusuke, we have Bleach, we have Ichigo. From Full Metal, we have Edward Elric. From Hitman Reborn, we have Suna. From Seven Deadly Sins, we have Meliodas. From Naruto, we have Naruto. From Berserk, we have Guts. From Demon Slayer, we have Tanjiro. From Jujutsu Kaisen, we have Yuji. From One Punch Man, we have Saitama. From Blue Exorcist, we have Rin. From Baki, we have Baki. From Trigun, we have Vash. And from Chainsaw Man, we have Denji. It's going to be a tournament of the ages. We're going to get down to it. Who would come out on top if the tournament of all these characters, main characters, were in a 16 bracketed March Madness style tournament? We're going to tell you why we think so. And we're going to come to a decision. We're going to come to it. So it's all for all my anime heads. I'm really excited about this tournament. And this kind of opens it up for a whole bunch of different things we can do with different guests. As far as like we talked about with Damo, movies, we can do rappers, we can do foods, we can do a whole bunch of different stuff. And I'm excited to actually add that content to the repertoire and just mix it up for y'all. So get excited. Me, Deshaun, and AKA, we're actually going to, excuse me, gosh, we're going to be the judges for that. We're going to get that popping really, really soon. Probably not this week because we at Comic-Con this week, you know what I'm saying? Meet us there over there, Long Beach, LA. We're going to get a whole bunch of anime signatures and just go to Collect-A-Con and get a whole bunch of stuff going, Pokemon cards, and get into our nerd bag. So if you're going to be there this weekend, we'll see you Saturday and Sunday. Holla at us. Look for the Best of Bias. Look for, you know what I'm saying? Look for Growly. You see the shirt back there. You see that in there in the spot. You know it's me. Holla at your boy. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, I think it's time for Cinema Corner. Let's talk a little Cinema Corner, get you guys up out of here. We're getting to the end here. We're just going to talk a little bit about some shows that I'm watching, some shows I'm in the middle of, and just review a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, how I liked it, and yeah, we'll get y'all up out of here. Let's get right into it. So Swamp Kings, the Florida documentary is out now. As Untold series, I think it's called. It's a whole bunch of sports stuff, a whole bunch of different stories and documentaries of stuff that may have happened in your lifetime that you may remember, but they have it video and in a documentary form that everybody's so used to now and everybody loved. Over COVID, all these documentaries caught a wave and now we're in full force documentary mode. There's a documentary for everything, but basically this was about the 06 to 09 Florida Gators. If you guys watch college football and you guys are around or in high school or older back then that paid attention to college football, you know who we're talking about. The Tebow teams, Brandon Spikes, Percy Harvin, the Brandon Silers of the world, coached by Urban Meyer. It was an epic little 4-episode miniseries, docuseries, where they just showed you like what was happening during the football season. The story of Tim Tebow when he was a freshman, when he won a national championship, to his sophomore year when he won Heisman, to his junior year where he won another national championship. Just the highs and the lows, of coaching. Or Urban Myers was going through some stuff mentally, just with the expectations of winning. The team dealing with Tim Tebow being such a loved figure around the world, and him getting so much credit when the team was dope too. But everybody wanted Tebow. Everybody talked about Tebow. It was just wild. It's a good documentary. It just shows you the ups and downs of, we see the Miamis of the world. We see all the really good teams that are out there winning championships, but they go more introspective into the college, like campus life and what it took to actually, put together a team that actually won the championships. There's ups and there's definitely downs, players getting kicked off the team, players doing stuff, in result of being kicked off the team, coaches making hard decisions, quarterbacks and players going through internal strife, getting hurt. It's really good, man. I watched the Johnny Manziel one as well. They have a bunch of good ones on there right now. Check that out. You won't be disappointed, especially, again, if you're in high school or whatever, or in college, hearing about what Florida was doing, being out, actually witnessing it. This gives you really a good behind-the-scene look. Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal on Peacock. Yes. If you guys played PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Twisted Metal is definitely a staple in your repertoire. You know exactly what Twisted Metal is. Peacock put a show together based on the video game. Anthony Mackie is the main star. We see a lot of the memorable characters from the show. Sweet Tooth, of course, in his ice cream truck. Anthony Mackie plays John Doe. The lore of Twisted Metal is deep. One of the deepest video game lores. I mean, PlayStation did a really good job with this character backgrounds and the storylines in them, Tekken, all that stuff. It's really good, really mapped out. If you played a lot as a young and you know it's good, watch the show, man. I liked it a lot. It's not like super great. It doesn't take itself too serious, but I think it's funny. It pays really good homage to the video game. It's gory. People actually killing each other. It's kind of cool. It's post-apocalyptic, minus the zombies, so it's a good little aspect that they added to it. And it's really interesting. 10 episodes out right now on Peacock. So if you have Peacock, you can check that out. I recommend that. Also Ahsoka, man. I was talking a lot about Ahsoka. 2-episode premiere. It premiered on Wednesday, I want to say. Wednesday night, a new thing they did for Wednesday night for a premiere. I think the episodes are going to actually drop on Thursdays, or I could be wrong. It could have dropped on Tuesday night and drop on Wednesdays, because I think Wednesdays is more so the Disney and the Star Wars day that the shows drop. But yeah, 2-episode premiere. It really picked up where Rebels left off. Again, Rebels is the animated series that Star Wars put out. I think it's on Netflix right now. If you watch that, you're really caught up on what's going on. Like I said, it really continues right after that. Me personally, I haven't watched Rebels. I watched Clone Wars, a lot of the beginning of that, but Rebels I didn't watch. So I think I'm gonna have to go back and watch that and try to binge it before I catch up. Because a lot of characters I don't really know what's going on in the show right now. Ezra Bridger, General Thrawn, just some of the stuff that Ahsoka's going through. Sabine being her Padawan, like there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and I want to know before I actually jump into Ahsoka, because I want to like it. I really like Rosario Dawson. I like Ahsoka's character a lot. So, you know what I'm saying? I really want to be into it, but I got to do some work on the backstory first before I jump right into it. But I do recommend it for the fam. You know how I am with these Disney Plus shows, especially the Star Wars one. Last one, Andor, was really good. The drama was a really good change of pace from Mando and Boba Fett. Actually, Mando was came after Andor, I think, but Andor was really good. The last Mandalorian, I think they try to push Mando out to the side a little bit and kind of like push more so Bo-Katan. And I don't really mind it so much, but it was kind of obvious. And Dan Djarin, Pablo Pascal is not going to be in the next season, and I think they're just going to just pretty much go with Bo-Katan. So I don't know about all that, but Andor is really good. Drama, a lot of crazy stuff going on, a long series. But Ahsoka, we saw her in, I don't know if she was in, she might have been in Obi-Wan. I think it was Obi-Wan. Um, was it Obi-Wan? Or was it Mandalorian? Whatever one it was. And I really like the portrayal of Ahsoka that Rosario Dawson's doing in the show. It looks like it's setting up to be cool. There's other Jedis in the show. I'm not gonna spoil it too much because it just came out. But once episode 3 comes in, we're gonna start doing a lot more in-depth reviews. But it looked cool, man. Sabine being a Padawan and having a lightsaber, I didn't know that. I didn't know Ezra Bridger was a Padawan turned Jedi. So I'm excited to watch Rebels and see what's going on with that, man. I'm sorry, my Star Wars people, me not being completely up to date and trying to review this for y'all, but hey, your boy is still watching. I know a lot of people out there is watching, and we're gonna be reviewing. But I'm into it. I'm into seeing what Ahsoka has. You know, she's looking for General Thrawn because she heard he's still alive, and she obviously wants to kill him or stop him to prevent a war. But there's some other people looking for him as well, and they're also looking for Ezra Bridger. And that's pretty much what they're doing in the first 2 episodes. And yeah, just introduce us to Sabine, the people that haven't seen Rebels, and just setting stuff up. But again, if you haven't seen Rebels, I advise you go watch it on Netflix or Disney Plus too, because I'm sure they have all the Disney animated series on there too. And catch up if you haven't seen that, and then probably a little bit of Mandalorian too, so you can see where in the show Ahsoka and what she's doing and who she's talked to already. A little convoluted. A lot of stuff happened with Boba Fett and Mandalorian season 3, and yeah, you guys know what's going on. Got a little convoluted, a little mixed up, a little weird. Like you can't know this character unless you've seen this and this and this and this. They decided to put Mandalorian in the Boba Fett to make it better, and I think that's where Ahsoka was. Yeah, it's a little wild, but go watch it every Wednesday, I believe, um, on Disney Plus. Dave Filoni, go watch it. It's gonna be good. Good Burger 2 teaser trailer. So at Comic-Con, I told you guys that they announced that Good Burger 2 is coming out on Paramount Plus, in Nickelodeon Studios and stuff like that. It's true. They dropped the teaser trailer, and it was really refreshing. I am going to say, seeing Kenan and Kel back in action, one of Kel's funniest characters being Ed. Welcome to Good Burger. Can I take your order? Seeing him, and it's kind of cheesy because in the trailer he firstly gets hit by a car, gets hit by the burger car, and flies in the passenger seat. And yeah, it just looks kind of corny, but I'm excited to see it. I think I don't think it's a TV show. I think it's a movie, a little one-off. But I'm happy to see Kenan and Kel back working together, and just working in general. I know Kenan's been working on Saturday Night Live and a whole bunch of commercials and doing all kinds of shit, and Kel has been doing some lightweight stuff as well. But I don't know. They're just my childhood, man. I just thought watching them as kids that they were the the ultimate pinnacle of stardom when it came to Black kids in the 90s, just seeing them on all that and them spinning off and getting their own show and the popularity of the show. Just me watching it so much growing up and the nostalgia of all of it. It's just hard for me to believe that they didn't grow up to be bigger stars. You know what I mean? And seeing them have a chance to kind of just grow off that and just play on the nostalgia now and maybe just kind of, make something pop with Nickelodeon off of this spin-off movie. I think it's going to be kind of cool, and I'm excited for it, man. I don't know about all you Gen Zers. I don't know if you guys know who Kenan and Kel are, but if you go on Paramount Plus and check out Kenan and Kel show, all that, you'll know exactly what it is. It's just the funniest, like, if you, it just, to me, it's just like if I was a kid and I was hanging out with my friends and I had a couple of my friends that were actors, this is exactly how they would act. It's funny. It's before its time, and if you watched it, you know exactly what I'm talking about for a kids show. Go check out Kaden and Kel, and I'm happy to see them back, coming back to a screen near you, a stream system, whatever you stream your stuff on near you. And then lastly, let me get into this real Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Seth Rogen edition. I enjoy the movie, man. I actually got to see him in the recliner seats in my theater, my local theater. I didn't even know we had those seats, but I got this one matinee. Had the recliner seats, set my feet up and watched this new Ninja Turtles. It was very interesting to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Having teens actually be the Ninja Turtles was very cool. Very really cool touch. It was a little too Gen Z for me. Some of the sayings and some of the scenes. It was a little, it took its time to kind of go over my head in some points, get really kiddish. But I mean, I guess that's what the aspect is. The Ninja Turtles are teenagers, so for it to be a new age movie, you want them to be new age teenagers. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be teenagers like they were in the '90s or act like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was in the '90s because this is 2023. But actor wise, it was cool, man. They had Ice Cube being the main villain, Jackie Chan played Master Splinter. Some of the classic bad guys were really cool characters. You had Seth Rogen play Rocksteady. You had somebody else really famous play Bebop. You had another villain character played by Paul Rudd. The cast was deep. The cast was really deep. You could tell they put a lot of money into it, a lot of time into it. They had that new age kind of like animation, kind of like Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, but a little more lightweight. But it was really interesting. They put a little spin on how they became ninjas. You know what I mean? They watched kung fu movies, um, and became, ninjas based on that. Not really how the story was in the comics or in the other movies in the '90s. How Master Splinter used to be the pet of a like ninjutsu master, and he would watch him do his training all the time, and that's how he knew how to fight. And then once he found the turtles rolling around in the ooze, he taught them the ninjutsu that he found out from his master. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. They took a whole different approach in this one. None of that happened. They just rolled around in the ooze because it fell down the drain. Master Splinter found the turtles and just taught them to fight based on watching kung fu movies. And I don't know, they're just taught to hate humans because, once the ooze got on Master Splinter and he tried to go on the regular world, they hated him for being a humanoid rat. And they would hate the turtles too if they went up there. So they were taught to hate the outside world. April in this one, what I'm saying? I understand it. They did a whole inclusion thing, body type, and they're doing a lot of making the main character that used to be white a whole different race and stuff like that. I think that's kind of unnecessary for Ninja Turtles personally. I don't know. I don't know. April O'Neil just always has been just kind of like it's kind of like been like a Lois Lane type of character, kind of like a Mary Jane. I know Mary Jane is kind of new in this newer Spider-Man, but the April O'Neil they went with this one, and this one was a little different. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. Also, it's kind of weird that mutant turtles have crush on human people, and they kind of like imply that they would have a crush on each other because that would just be kind of a weird situation to have. But in either way, it was a cool movie. The storyline was cool. You know what I mean? Kind of ran a little long. I felt like maybe I don't know how it is possible to kind of overact as a voice actor, but you can tell Ice Cube was having fun. I know he didn't write the script, but the stuff that he was saying and how he was saying it was a little over the top for a kids movie. Sometimes he was cussing a lot, firstly for a kids movie. His Superfly character, but yeah, it was cool. I like the opportunities that Seth Rogen gave people and the opportunity for the teenagers to grow in the roles and do multiple movies because they are young and just they can keep those characters growing for a long time. So, very interesting movie to see. Take your kids to see it, but if you're an adult, I'll probably kind of just wait for it to come on video, unless you're really doing a podcast to review it or just kind of in that nerdy kind of mood like I usually am. I see everything, but yeah, it was cool, but wasn't necessarily the best. But I will give it to cinema right now. There has been a string of movies that have been really interesting that got me going back to the movies. It kind of did calm down now. And it probably will calm down with the strikes and writer strikes and stuff going on. But I appreciate the stuff that I have seen thus far. Oppenheimer, Barbie, Ninja Turtles. I've recently, not in the theaters, but Transformers wasn't bad. So I'm sure in theaters it wasn't bad as well. So um, with it not being a Marvel and DC super dominated summer with a whole bunch of properties like that, I mean, there was some, and they have been pretty bad, which was a surprise. I heard Blue Beetle was good. I'm seeing that this weekend. I'll have a review for that next week, probably for y'all. But yeah, it's been a cool string of movies this summer. You know, summer is the time where the blockbusters actually hit the theaters, and you're in the theaters kind of enjoying those. As the fall time kind of comes around, you kind of get the TV shows that are more interesting. You get the holiday movies that come out that are pretty good. But you know what I'm saying? The summer was the time where a lot of the blockbusters were supposed to hit, and we were supposed to get a lot of good movies. But towards the tail end, we got a lot of good ones, and we ended strong. So go see a movie, go support local media or cinema right now, because it's gonna be a lull coming up real soon. Also, this Sunday, if you're gonna go see a movie, select theaters is $4 movie day. Since we're talking about it now, go see a movie, grab the family, and go see a cheap movie. Go see Ninja Turtles, go see something, because it's the opportunity to do it. Super, 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 super cheap day. But that is it, y'all. End of the podcast, where I like to let them know where you can find me at. It's your boy, SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. If you're looking for the podcast on the Instagram, it's, Best of Bias. Just type that in, type bestofbias.com in, go on YouTube, type in Best of Bias, and you'll find us there. Look for Growly, and you'll find us. Like, subscribe, add us on Instagram, hit the bell so you never miss a video. I know we missed a video last week, but we're back on it. Like I said, we're back. Comic-Con this weekend. If you're on Long Beach, hit us up. We'll be at Collecticon. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to get some video and some reporting live, but I'm going to be trying to get some autographs as well for these pops back here, get some stuff going. But yeah, merch still available. You see the hat on my head, dad hats, truckers, beanies, bucket hats. I think that's the first time I got through it all without forgetting what I had. But yeah, I have shirts too. You see the shirts back there. I have Growly doing his electric thing. I think I sold out of all the Growly faces. So new shirts of those coming soon, new hats coming soon, new content coming soon, new tournaments coming soon, new guests coming back. Chelsea's coming back, AKA's coming back, Damo's coming back, Johnny Boy's coming back, Deshaun's coming back. I got so many guests, so many Best of Bias family members that need to be on this pod so soon that y'all don't even know what you're going to have to do. You know what I'm saying? Every Friday, you know where to be. You know what I'm saying? Hit a reminder, subscribe anywhere you find your favorite podcast. What else is there to say? There's not much. Just stay hydrated, stay out of the heat, enjoy the rest of your summer. I know school started back for a lot of the kids out there, so careful on the roads in the morning. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Everybody love one another. The world is crazy right now. Be safe out there. And again, stay hydrated, stay safe, and stay healthy. It's the Best of Bias podcast. It's Lydell Dinero. It's your boy, and it's Friday, so enjoy it. We out here.
It's the best of Bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of Bias. Best of Bias. Yeah.